Welcome to the MBQ Inside Memphis Business 2014 Innovation Awards. My name is Jeremy Park. I'm president of the Lipscomb Pitts Breakfast Club. I'm one of the members of the LLC with Lipscomb Pitts Insurance. Also, my wife always says, please do not ask him what he does because it could be a monologue. But we have a TV show called The Spark, a column in the Commercial Appeal called Giving Back, a book, Giving Back with Purpose, a radio show. So my world is all community engagement, corporate philanthropy, and really, more importantly, bringing together all of us to make a difference. And the neat thing is, when you talk about the recipients, the ones that we're going to be celebrating today, the individuals, the organizations, when you talk about innovation, culturally, they're giving back. And so it's a perfect fit for me to be able to be with you this morning, but also, too, when you talk about everything that we're doing focused on giving back and making a difference, well, that's exactly what these recipients, these Innovation Award winners are doing, and they're doing it in a very big way. So when you talk about our history here in Memphis, our legacy of entrepreneurialism, of blues and food and barbecue and so much here in terms of our efforts, and also too, I mean, Memphis is always one of the top philanthropic cities in the world, so extremely generous with our giving and our heart. I think it's very much impressive to be known as an innovative city as well, so for all of our innovations here. So that's the fun of this morning, and the awards this morning are presented by MBQ, Inside Memphis Business, and also the Fogelman College of Business and Economics here at the University of Memphis. And when you look at what the awards is all about, it's celebrating individuals, organizations, products, services, new paradigm shifts. It's all about innovation. It's the eureka factor. It's coming up with a new idea. But when you talk about innovation, you hear a lot of the business thought leaders, innovation is not just new technology. It's not just a new idea. It's a process. It's a commitment to excellence. And when you talk about not being afraid to take risks and a fear of failure, so much of when you see these award winners, innovation is daily. It's every single day. It's that commitment to 3 daily steps and taking risks and pushing boundaries so that together we can achieve more and do great things. And I think, especially when you see these 4 recipients, it's so much more than just what they came up with. This is a byproduct of their everyday commitment to coming up and pushing the boundaries together. So we're going to have a lot of fun. The 2014 Innovation Awards wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors. And actually, before I say that, before we kind of get into the nuts and bolts, we have a hashtag. So raise your hand if you're on Twitter. And I'm assuming you have your phone. I know that Laura back there is, yes, and Kristen too. So the hashtag is MBQ Innovators. So if you, Jimmy Fallon, hashtag MBQ Innovators. So make sure we fully expect you, if you have your phone out, to take pictures and tweet out. And especially if you're the award winners, you're going to come up here and be recognized, and you get a plaque, and we're going to do some really fun stuff. And we'll take pictures afterward. But for all of you that are supporters here, we want you to take pictures. And so I can't really be doing this and taking pictures, otherwise I would. But I want to, at the end of this, I want to look back and see the hashtag of all these really amazing pictures of the winners, okay? So that's your job. Take lots of pictures. If I see you with your phone, I want you taking pictures and hashtag MBQ Innovators. So that's the fun part. All right, so the Innovation Awards wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors. We'd like to thank Triumph, Ferris Babengo, Attorneys at Law, United Capital Private Wealth Counseling, Bars, Wagner, Sumner, and Cannon, Inc., VACO, and C.B. Richard Ellis, Memphis. And at this time, I'd like to introduce Will Chase, president of Triumph, diamond sponsor of the 2014 Innovation Awards.
Thank y'all. What great weather. What a great day to come out here today. We're very proud to be the diamond sponsor for the Innovation Awards. Our focus every day at Triumph is to help our customers grow, and a lot of the businesses that are our customers that start are like people like y'all. They have sometimes a crazy out-of-the-box idea that turns into a business. So we're proud to be a contributor to the people's success here. As Jeremy was just saying, Memphis has a great history of innovation and innovators. And I thought just kind of, for some of y'all are Memphians, some of you aren't. Some of y'all are a lot younger than I am and may not know all the history about some of the innovation in Memphis. So I thought I'd just mention a few of them. One of them is Dr. Willis Campbell. Some of y'all don't know his name, but you know what he did. Campbell Clinic. He decided he was going to start an orthopedic clinic. There was not one in existence, and so he just started one, 1909. He didn't just do that. He started the orthopedic surgery department at UT. In addition to that, he founded the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. And if that wasn't enough, he wrote the first textbook on orthopedics that was used in medical schools across the country. So that clinic has been taking care of people nationally and internationally for 4 generations. And actually, my left knee is one of their patients for several years. Clarence Saunders, a lot of times people think of Clarence Saunders, think of the Pink Palace, but what he really did, he started the first self-service grocery store. He was the inventor of that here in Memphis, Tennessee, 1916. He also did something else. Y'all know what his other invention was? He actually got a patent on it. Anybody remember the name? The Keydoozle. The Keydoozle was actually an automated grocery store. You put a key in a slot and it was not commercially successful. That's why you don't know it. There were 3 of them. It didn't work, but he actually received a patent for it posthumously in 1958. Another innovator is Mike Starnes, because he's talking about technology. Sometimes it's not something new. It's taking something that's in existence and changing it. Mike Starnes, MS Carriers. I had a great experience as a young banker years ago. I was the banker for MS Carriers. And what happened was, if you can imagine, there's a term deregulation. I know it's hard to imagine in our world now. It seems like we have more regulation, but there actually was a movement years ago to have less government regulation. I think we ought to return to that, by the way. That probably would help. But what Mike saw was that previously trucks had to travel on a predetermined route that was governed by a governmental agency. And when that went out, what Mike saw was that their customer, who's the shipper, you could then load up a truck, make it a full truckload, and put it on an irregular route wherever the customer wanted it to go. That was a novel thing at the time. He started that company, and they did a great job. And I was very fortunate to have seen the company kind of up close and personal from that standpoint. That was 1978. And you really can't talk about innovation in Memphis without talking about Fred Smith and FedEx. They basically have revolutionized the package delivery business in the world. We did a little internet search, and I think they employ 32,000 people in Shelby County. So we contacted several people trying to get some data. So on their first delivery day, 1973, anybody know how many packages they delivered? It's on their website, but we had to call some other people. It was really interesting. They had 386 employees, 14 jets, 25 delivery point cities, and they delivered 186 packages first day. So if you do the math, they did less. It's an average of less than 10 per destination city. Today, I think they averaged 3.4 million packages a day worldwide. So that's a huge deal. So we've been very blessed here in our city to have innovators. There are a lot more of them, but I only had 4 minutes to speak, so that's you won't hear about any of it. My hope is that someday, in several years, what will happen is there'll be somebody else from Triumph Bank. We'll be the sponsor again, the diamond sponsor for this event, and there'll be some of y'all here in the room, or some of our nominees we're honoring this morning. That somebody will talk about y'all in the same vein. We talk about a Clarence Saunders or Dr. Willis Campbell. Mike Starnes or FedEx and Fred Smith. So again, thanks this morning for coming. Great weather, great day to be out. And I hope you'll contact Triumph if there's some way that we can help y'all grow and innovate in your business. And with that, let's get started. Thank you.
And actually, that's a great point is, when you look at innovation, a lot of that is seeing a need. Is seeing a need out in the community, seeing a need within, when you talk about especially science and medicine, seeing a need and a cure and wanting to start a new therapy. So much of it is seeing a need and going after it. And also, too, I want to highlight the importance of an awards program is so much of it is, it's not just the celebration of those individuals and organizations, it's also, too, it's enthusiasm and inspiration for others to go out and follow their dreams and follow their passions to pursue excellence as well. So not only are we here to celebrate, but also, too, to encourage and inspire others to follow their dream and pursue innovation as well. So my next pleasure is to introduce Ken Neal. He's the publisher, so Kenneth Neal, he's the publisher and CEO of Contemporary Media. He's the parent company of MBQ Inside Memphis Business, Memphis Magazine, the Memphis Flyer, and Memphis Parent. Contemporary Media is the largest locally owned publishing company in the Mid-South, and Ken has been awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award by the City and Regional Magazine Association. Ken Neal, come on up, sir.
Thanks, Jeremy, and thanks, Will, for a great start to the day. We would be remiss if we didn't mention, I think, another great innovator in Memphis named Kemmons Wilson, since we're in a hotel that bears his name, and a university which his family helped endow the School of Hospitality Services here. It's great to see such a great crowd. I was lucky enough this year to sit in with the judges, and my gosh, what great stuff we had to look at when we were selecting this year's honorees. You may have heard of the winners. No, we did something what you have on your tables are the August-September issue of MBQ. We are unveiling the October issue at this breakfast, and it's unusual in that we have 4 different covers, one featuring each of the winners. So that's we thought that would be a neat thing to do. Last year we had a ceremony in which we did pick out one winner, but we literally, I can speak, I think for the judges, couldn't possibly have chosen one. So we ended up with 4, and we have 4 different covers. Speaking of judges, we were very blessed this year as well as to have all 4 of our judges come back. They are Michelle Proctor, a Director of Innovation, appropriately enough, at Federal Express, and she could not be with us this morning. But we have the other 3 with us. Dr. Eugene Eckstein, the Chair of the Biomedical Engineering Department here at the University of Memphis. Dr. Balaji Krishna, who is Director of the International MBA program here at the Fogelman College. And Andy Cates, founding managing member of the Value Acquisition Fund and founder and president of RVC Outdoor Destinations. Could I ask you guys to put your hands up? We really are blessed with their help. And we're also blessed to have the full support of the Fogelman College here at the university. And my good friend, Dr. Rajiv Grover, is been a great partner to work with the last couple of years on this project, and we hope we work together for many, many decades to come. Dr. Grover, as you probably know, is Dean of the Fogelman College of Business and Economics, and he is the Chair of Excellence, has the Chair of Excellence. Do you have the chair at home? He's the Chair of Excellence in Sales and Marketing. Dr. Grover has an MBA from the India Institute of Technology and a PhD from the University of Massachusetts. He's won numerous awards for his teaching, research, administration, and writing, is the author and editor of several manager and marketing books, and is former senior vice president of a software company called Arzu. So it's my pleasure, Rajiv, to give you that introduction. Thank you.
So last time, which was the first year of the Innovation Award, I get a phone call from Ken at 6 o'clock in the morning saying that the keynote speaker has canceled. The person is really, really sick. We'll give you 3 minutes. Can you substitute for the keynote speaker? And I said, okay, 3 minutes, that sounds fair, I can do that. And he had padded everybody else's speech by another minute or so, and we sort of covered all grounds. And so I came up over here, and I've done a little bit of research on innovation and creativity, and I talked about organizational culture that helps in innovation. And in particular, I talked about failure value, basically saying that if the organization culture doesn't support failing, innovation will not happen. And lo and behold, that touched a sweet spot in everybody's hearts and minds, saying that, hey, that was a really good speech. And then Ken tells me 2 days ago that today we are going to give you 4 minutes instead of 3 minutes. So what I thought was, since failure value and organizational culture was so appealing to the audience, I'll talk a little bit more, address 2 or 3 other variables that I have found are very important. Next slide, please. So today we'll talk about commitment for innovation and why commitment is very, very important. and what really commitment means, and what are the sort of variables that help in commitment. What I did was went through the draft of the articles which Richard is writing for these magazines, and I said these magazines because there are 4 of them, each magazine highlighting a different company. There are 4 winners. And I said, let me go through what Richard has written. As you know, I do not participate in the judging of these, just to avoid any conflict of interest. So I didn't know the details, nor did I want to know the details, but I looked through the articles that Richard had written, and this is what I found. Go ahead. So the first thing regarding commitment, why this is important, I have a quote over here, and this is from Buckman Labs. We started talking about it, that is use of enzymes, 20 years ago, but it took us a few years to get it into paper. Now we are leaders in a lot of ways, but certainly in the use of enzymes in the paper industry. 20 years of commitment since they started talking about it. The other quote that I have from you is for Dr. Solecki. The impact of vaccines' active antigen in preventing Lyme disease from reaching the human population could have been stopped in its tracks more than 10 years ago when the vaccine was pulled from the market. So the vaccine was pulled from the market 10 years ago. They probably were working on it for another 10 years before that, but even after it was pulled from the market, she kept working on this for another 10 years. So that goes to show the commitment behind these 2 innovations that we are going to talk about more today. Now, where does the commitment really come from? So that's sort of 2 sources of commitment. One is the consequences of innovation, or the consequences of lack of innovation. And again, I pull out 2 quotes from the 4 winners today. The first one, again, happens to be from Buckman. So in light of increasing energy costs and mills, we are always looking for ways to improve their profitability and the cost structure. This has proven to be one of those ways. So if there is pressure on your margins and there's danger of you losing market share, then you're going to do something about it. So basically, the consequences of not innovating would mean getting out of business. The other quote that I have is from Kevin Dean, and he's also one of the winners over here today. It was generally accepted that we couldn't go back to where we were. We had to adapt or die, right? So the consequences of not innovating, if they are dire, means that you will do something about it, i.e. you will commit, and once you commit, you will have the innovation. But, next slide please. But commitment can also come from intrinsic motivation, which is a quote which I took from Dr. Selesky's write-up. Over here, there wasn't probably any danger to Dr. Selesky's future as much, but it's plain and simple intrinsic motivation. I'm dedicated to doing that research. After years of hard work and trust that this goal was worth pursuing, Dr. Selesky's dedication has brought this antigen back from a major setback and within reaching distance of eliminating Lyme disease for thousands of people. So single individual, single innovator's intrinsic motivation and dedication gets you the innovation. Now, so those 2 are sort of essential variables that lead to commitment, but there are 2 other supporting variables that I want to talk about. One is access to resources. Innovation doesn't happen in organization if adequate amount of resources are not provided to that potential innovation. So here again, I have 2 quotes, and it just so happens that Buckman and Dr. Selesky keep coming, but of course other people also have decent quotes around here. The first one is again from Buckman, and it says that Buckman has put in a lot of faith and resources in these tiny proteins, and I'm sure these folks, when they come to present later today, they'll talk about that. And in Dr. Solecki's case, in November 2013, the company was awarded $1 million from Global Health and Innovation Challenge to continue the work. So resources become very, very important. The point of all this is if you do not put your money where your mouth is, nothing's going to happen. So we can keep talking till we are blue in the face that we are innovative, we want to do this, we want to do that. Show me the money is what this is saying. And this has been proven over and over again to be very true. The next point that I would like to raise is access to diverse knowledge. So if we have innovators or a team of innovators or any entity that is engaged in innovation, totally focused, having a lot of depth of knowledge, but not the required breadth of knowledge, innovation doesn't happen that easily. Clearly, depth of knowledge is extremely important. You have to be an expert in that area to do innovation, but beyond that, diversity of knowledge seems to be really, really important. So when you folks are thinking of doing some innovative work in your organizations, make sure you have a number of people with very diverse knowledge bases, otherwise you run into a Bay of Pig kind of disaster. So access to diverse knowledge, and here we have the computational biology team from St. Jude's, and the quote over here is, it is a very much a team science where large groups of individuals and diverse skills are brought together to tackle problems. So, to summarize, my 4 minutes are up. Worry about access to diverse knowledge, worry about access to resources. What are the consequences of innovating or not innovating, and the intrinsic motivation of people that are behind the innovation. Thank you, folks. Enjoy the day.
If he keeps this up, next year he's going to get 5 minutes. All right, so now the fun begins, the actual awards. So actually, you've seen a little bit of a teaser for the winners, but here's the official part. So they received almost 50 nominations, and as Ken alluded to, had to vet those out, do all the Q&A, and get to the bottom and figure out exactly who are going to be the winners. They narrowed it down to the 4 winners that are here with us today. These are the 4 that will be celebrated on the covers of the MBQ Inside Memphis Business. So all the incentive for you to go out and get multiple copies. You want to collect all 4, collector's edition. But what we'll do is we'll announce them one by one. When you come up, we'll have them come up. That'll be your cue to take pictures and tweet them out, right? But then what we'll do is we'll give you a plaque here, and then we're going to flip over your cover, and then at the very end, we're going to have you come back up after the award ceremony. We're going to take lots of pictures. So that's kind of the protocol, but when we announce you, start coming on up. So the first winner okay, so I'll just read the technical thing so that way I get it right. Our first award winners combed through enough data to fill the pyramid 30 times over. What the 30-plus members of the computational biology team at St. Jude Children's Research Hospital were looking for amounted to a misspelling, is how President and CEO of the hospital, Dr. James Downing, explains it. Base pair changes in the complete normal in cancer genomes of 700 children with cancer were studied. It's the world's largest and broadest analysis of such sequences. Dr. Jingwei Zhang led the team to develop computational algorithms that were able to identify genetic structural rearrangements that other scientists missed by up to 70%. If that wasn't enough, true to St. Jude's mission and form, they released for free that comprehensive human cancer genome data for access by the global scientific community. So Dr. Jingwei Zhang, your team, come on up. Congratulations, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
So much. I feel really humbled, honored to be recognized by the Memphis community. Especially, you can see most of us are transplanted from various areas of the world to Memphis, and was really grateful to hear the history of Innovation in Memphis. And here I'd like to thank first the judges for recognizing our peculiar field. Probably very few people in the world know doing what we are doing, which is cracking the genomes and trying to find out what is wrong with the cancer. And secondly, I'd like to thank St. Jude Executive Committee, especially Dr. James Dunning, who put together the resources we need, the big computers and the sequencing machines so we can crack the genome. And third, I'd like to thank my team, who without their dedication and hard work during the last 4 years to set up things that may sound very foreign to other people like CREST, Concerting, Cicero, Tartan, Raptor. These are the different secret code we have for the programs we wrote, that we won't have the tools needed to looking into the depth of what's wrong in cancer genome. And also I'd like to thank all the St. Jude patients and families, researchers, and everyone who donated to support St. Jude. Without all the efforts together, we won't be able to look into how to advance pediatric cancer research and how to share with the world researchers the information we gathered so everyone can work together to help improve the care of pediatric cancer. Thank you.
Let's go ahead and have you see, and then we'll have you come back up. What's amazing about St. Jude Children's Research Hospital is the average donation is only $30. So just imagine, and the budget this year was in the billions with Rick Shadyac. So it's amazing how much they are making a difference in terms of not only solving cancer, pediatric cancer, but also too doing it on $30 is the average donation around the world. So absolutely amazing. And the other thing is too, Rick Shadyac talks about all the time is this really is life-changing research that they're doing. If they can crack the code, they can literally save the children's lives and be on the forefront. So this is absolutely amazing what you're doing there. So thank you for everything you're doing. Okay, so our next award winner, think of how many paper products you used just this morning and how many you'll use throughout the day. Our next Innovation Award winner is making those products stronger and lighter, and the process that goes into making them more efficient and sustainable. Buckman and its Maximized Development Team, I like that they spell it M-A-X-I-M-Y-Z-E for enzymes, have found a way to use enzymes, naturally occurring proteins, in the place of chemical reactions to process paper for tissue, books, magazines, cardboard boxes, and wallboard. All products that we can't live without, all made in a more environmentally friendly way by the Buckman team. So congratulations, Maximized Development Team from Buckman. Come on up.
Well, as you'll notice, I'm not either one of those guys in that picture. I'm actually third or fourth in line to accept this award, but I'm really honored to accept this award on behalf of the Enzyme Technologies team and for Buckman. This is the result of hard work by many people. Some of those are represented here at the table, and many other people who are not able to be here today. Sustainable success through teamwork is one of the mottos at Buckman, and this is a very good example of it. The team together has worked very hard to become the premier enzyme supplier to the pulp and paper industry. We're very proud of the progress that we're making in this arena, and we're very pleased to see this innovative technology recognized. So thanks to Memphis Business Quarterly and to University of Memphis for putting us in this prestigious group, and thank you very much.
Our third award winner. We all love summertime and getting outside to enjoy the fresh air and landscape, but we don't enjoy the pests, the mosquitoes, the gnats, and the ticks, especially the ticks, which are known to carry Lyme disease. Our next Innovation Award winner has worked to mitigate the dangers of the summer season by developing a vaccine for Lyme disease. This vaccine, however, isn't for humans, but for mice, squirrels, chipmunks, and other small woodland creatures, those carriers that are the harbingers of the disease. When a similar vaccine for humans was pulled by the FDA in the 1990s, Dr. Maria Gomes-Selecki of the University of Tennessee Health Science Center, a doctor of veterinary medicine, used her unique perspective to eliminate the bacteria that causes Lyme's disease at its source. Dr. Selecki, come on up.
Well, I want to thank the University of Tennessee for nominating me for this award, and to Memphis Business Quarterly for recognizing my work. I guess everybody has figured that back in 2002, when the Lyme disease vaccine was pulled out of the market, I decided to do something different with it. I mean, I had a good vaccine in hand, and I knew that I just couldn't go to waste. It was really the only molecule that we could use to prevent a disease that does cause a lot of grief. And so I guess this is my one way to tell you that sometimes in life, that which presents itself as a great setback can also turn out to be your greatest source of joy. But what I need to do quickly is to thank the people that have done the work with me, and of course I couldn't have done this alone. And I have to start by the funding, of course, CDC and NIH, because without money we just don't get anything done. And I always thank the money first. And you know, it's just a fact, without the money you just can't hire the good people to get the work done. And the people I'd like to name: Luciana. She has been with me from the early days I started this, and she's sitting back there. Rita in my lab is a student that also helped with this project. My two collaborators in New York and Pennsylvania who run the study. And I have Mason sitting right here. Mason Kaufman and Chris Pibiszewski were the people with whom I founded the company 2 years ago. And they are the man behind this company that is now commercializing the vaccine. So thank you.
Even though our fourth award winner is another individual award winner, I think the reality is when you see already, this is all a team effort. And so when you talk about innovation, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens with collaboration and chemistry and working together. So I think it's amazing when you look at just already the thanks. It's all a team effort. So our fourth award winner, with 14% of Shelby County adults at the most basic literacy level and 22% who function only slightly higher, our next innovation award winner is fighting the fight to eradicate those numbers. And just think about, we have a large population that can't fill out a job application, that can't read to their children. So this is immensely important when you talk about literacy affecting economic development, job creation, so even crime prevention. Kevin Dean, Executive Director of Literacy Mid-South, is using every tool at his disposal for the job. And when he hasn't been able to find the right tools anywhere, and he searched nationwide, he's innovated them. These include an app allowing tutors to send reports every time they meet, and the ability to gain access quickly and easily to all of their curriculum. Dean's work has garnered national awards and has helped turn an organization that was struggling financially and influentially a full 180 degrees. Kevin Dean, Literacy Mid-South.
That was my team. They didn't want to come up until after the fact. When you win an award like this for good ideas, you immediately start cataloging all the bad ideas that you had. And I want to celebrate those, because some of the worst ideas that I had ended up being really good ideas. Some of the bad ideas I had, y'all would kick me out of here for just even having them, because they were so bad. But I really appreciate working in an environment where we work together and we fail together and we win together. And so this is really a Literacy Mid-South award, not necessarily just me, I'm just the leader, but I work with 8 other people who are all terribly, terribly innovative. And we have a big problem in front of us, and it's not done yet. And I look forward to spending the next couple of years innovating more so that we can take care of this huge illiteracy problem in Memphis. So thank you very much.
So there has to be a group picture, so team, come back up. I'm gonna tell you about he has a book festival coming up. So Literacy Mid-South is hosting the Mid-South Book Festival, Botanic Garden. Come on up. You have to take a group picture. You can't have all the group pictures and then you guys get left out. So we're breaking protocol a little bit. Take a few group pictures. All right, there we go. Literacy Mid-South. But they have the Mid-South Book Festival coming up. It actually kicks off tomorrow night. Thursday night, but it goes all the way through Sunday. So lots of free opportunities to come out and see many national known authors right here in Memphis. They have workshops, seminars. It's going to be amazing. And they even have kids stuff. They have Super Y if you have kids. So really neat stuff. But all free here in the Mid-South. So let's have another applause for all of our award winners. So the 4 award winners: St. Jude's Computational Biology Team, the Maximized Development Team from Buckman, Dr. Maria Selecki from the University of Tennessee Health Science Center, and Kevin Dean of Literacy Mid-South. We also want to thank again our sponsors. We have MBQ, obviously, Fogelman College of Business and Economics here at the University of Memphis, so thank you for being a gracious host. Triumph, Ferris Bobango Attorneys at Law, United Capital Private Wealth Counseling, Bars Wagner, Sumner, and Cannon Inc., VACO, and CB Richard Ellis Memphis. Greatly appreciate all of you sponsoring this morning's event. Without you, obviously, none of this is possible, so huge thank you. And then we have copies of the MBQ magazine for you to take upon your exit. Also in your bags, there's nominations for the next big event, the CEO of the Year Awards. So make sure all of that will be online here pretty soon, I'm assuming, but you have in your packages or in your goodie bags, there's a nomination form for the CEO of the Year Awards. And you can also, too, please use the email address listed to nominate your favorite CEO. So at this point, we're going to ask all of the Innovation Awards winners to come up here. We're going to give you a really neat, large version of your cover, so you get to have a really cool keepsake above and beyond the plaque. But if the award winners will come on up, everybody, thank you very much for coming out. Greatly appreciate it. Big thanks to MBQ Inside Memphis Business for hosting this and having me as your MC. I appreciate it.